In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to sound like Mk.gee, more specifically how to replicate his sound and his production techniques. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, please do like and subscribe, it really helps me out. You can join my Discord server, it'll be linked in the description if you have any questions. Without further ado, let's go on to the video. Okay, the first thing I started with was a guitar riff. This is how it sounds. I'm going to show you how I created it in a sec. When I started with this riff, this is all I recorded. Just me going up and down notes in a chord progression. Yeah, super simple. Then all from there, all I did was I pressed this stretch button and I doubled the speed, making sure that it stays on stretch mode. Otherwise, the pitch will change. I think I actually speeded up even faster than this, like this fast. Then all I did to get the reverse is I duplicated it, made it unique, reversed it, making sure I can see the reversed pattern. And then basically what I did is I cut it up so that every single time a different chord plays, it plays forward then backwards. I can show it visually like this. So I moved all of these to have a separate space and then put the reverse next to it like this. So it sounds like this. I also just made sure to remove some of the clicks by giving it a little bit of a fade in. But then basically once I had that, all I did was I mixed the guitar by adding this plugin here by Waves. It's called Voltage Amps Guitar Stereo. I put it on the drive, just gives it a bit more crunch. And I also added a EQ cutting out the lows and a bit of the highs because it was quite harsh with all the reverses. Okay, next let's move on to the bass. So the bass is really simple. All I did was I added this sound right here. And this sound is from Essential Rock Drum Kit. I'll have a link in the description, but in the one shots, there's loads of bass guitar sounds. And for the mixing on it, because it's not just a dry sound, I added UAD Raw, just any distortion plugin will work. Studio Verse, a wide analog bass preset, so I could up the sub a bit and make it a bit wider. Then I added some compression, and then EQ just after, just to add some cuts and boosts, so it works better with the kick. And for the notes, I just followed the root notes. I made two patterns here, going up and then down, but this is how it sounds with the guitar. Okay, now let's move on to the drums. The drums for this track are really simple. It's just this hi-hat that's alternating in velocity. I wouldn't really say it's a hi-hat, it's more of like a shaker, but this is how the pattern looks. And then I also added this rim. And the main thing with Mk.gee's type of like sound is that he puts everything in a room. So even the guitar and these drums, they're all on the same, they're all sent like this through the bottom to a plate. And this plate, you have to be really specific with the type of sound you want. But basically I've chosen a really short reverb time and a decent amount of pre-delay. It helps put everything into one room. Then I also added some perks. These are just loops that I found in drum kits that I had. And what I did is I pitched it down an octave, which gave it a cool effect. I don't think I did the same with this one. No, I didn't. One more thing, I also panned the percussion left and right a little bit and also sent it to the plate reverb. But all together with the bass and the guitar and the drums, this is how it sounds. Okay, next let's move on to the piano that I added. So for the plugin that I used for this piano, I used Piano Tech 6. And all I did is I went on my MIDI keyboard and just started adding chords that I thought would go with it. But this is how it sounds. So pretty simple, just following kind of chords. It's not the exact same chords as the guitar, but it works with the guitar quite well. And if you're struggling to find how to like create the chords like this, I would recommend using a MIDI keyboard. It helps a lot in the long run if you're trying to learn like chord shapings and stuff. But otherwise, you could always use, if you click up here and click on this, it snaps everything to a scale, which helps out quite a bit. And also if you click this, you can drag in different types of chords and paste them in, which can be really helpful. But I did decide to export this piano just to save some CPU power, print some effects that I added to it. I think I just added some chorus and maybe a bit of compression. But then once I exported it, I pitched it up an octave again so it works better with the guitar. And I also added a limiter to remove some of the white noise that was added before. This plugin by Baby Audio called Super VHS. I just hit this magic button. It makes everything like super wide. Then I added some more compression. Finally, a bit of an EQ cutting out the highs as they were too harsh and boosting the mids, low mids. But this is how it sounds with the guitar. Finally, I just added this one ear candy sound. I used a plugin called Atmos, and this is how it sounds. I feel like it adds just quite a bit of ambience to the track. Okay, nice. Let's move on to the vocals. So let me just play the vocals on their own, completely full, and show you how it sounds. You take me to the stars. I see what you want now. I touch down and it's only a second. So I purposely decided to space out the vocals to make the beat just like carry the main part of the track. But basically for layering the vocals, there is 2 main vocals, which I've mixed over here. And basically how I've done it to save CPU power on FL Studio is instead of pasting in the same vocal preset on every track, is I just put the vocal preset on a track, go to a different track, click down here, right click, press root to this track only, and it means you can have as many different layers as you want, all being sent to the same vocal mix. So for the vocal mix, let me quickly explain it. It's auto-tune, some EQing, another compressor, fresh air, I highly recommend this plugin, and a limiter. Also finally some slapback delay just for the main vocals to make it really give you that Mk.gee vibe. Then I also sent it to another plate. This time the plate has a longer reverb time. It's pretty similar, but it just has a longer 3-second reverb time. And I'm sending about 70% wet to the plate. And then for the actual vocal takes, I did one where I used falsetto and just like went really high, and it sounds like this. You take me to the stars. And then I did one where it's a bit more a lower tone. And you can see on that one, I'm almost like shouting. The way I recorded it is I stepped back a bit from the microphone and like shouted it a bit. But together they sound quite good. You take me to the stars. And just out of curiosity, this is how it sounds with no preset. Take me to the stars. So as you can tell, preset kind of carries. But then for the harmonies and backing vocals, I did this on another vocal mix. It's pretty similar, this vocal mix. The same thing, auto-tune, compression, some fresh air. But I just sent a lot more to the actual plate, and I also for these tracks I've panned them a little bit. But these vocal takes are once again also you step back quite a bit and almost shout. So I'll show you how they sound all together like this. So yeah, as you can tell, just shouting, and together it sounds like this with the other vocals. And for all the other takes, it's basically the exact same. And yeah, that's basically it. The only other things that I have added is obviously I arranged the track a bit, and I also added a little guitar solo. It's going to be a surprise at the end of the video. You want to hear? It's not that good, but... but yeah, that's about it. If you did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Any links for drum kits or vocal presets will be in the description, so please check that out. Without further ado, I'll play the final track now. Thank you. Goodbye.